Welcome back. Well, the wave of IPOs are coming. Anthropic filed for its IPO yesterday. It's been valued recently at nearly $1 trillion. The Claude AI maker could be on pace to go public by the fall, ahead of rival OpenAI, which is also planning an IPO. Elon Musk's SpaceX will likely be the largest IPO ever, and it could come as soon as next week. Company's been valued at nearly $2 trillion, and it's aiming to raise as much as $80 billion or more in that IPO. OpenAI reportedly planning to submit its own filing very soon. These three companies will be on pace for a blockbuster year of IPOs beginning this summer. Joining me now is 8VC managing partner and Palantir's co-founder, Joe Lonsdale. Joe, great to see you. Welcome back.
Thanks, Maria. Great to see you.
So what do you make of all these IPOs coming this summer?
Well, I'm an investor in a couple of them, so I'm biased. But, you know, there's going to be a lot more really wealthy people in the United States, and we've never seen this kind of growth before. You look at these companies' numbers. I can't comment on the part that's private, but you can see in public what's going on with the growth, especially with Anthropic. It's extraordinary. We've never seen anything like it before. Yeah,
it's true. But, I mean, there's a finite amount of money, right? I mean, at this point, Joe, is getting there second a big deal to beat out, and to come right after SpaceX?
You know, what's great about capitalism, Maria, and the free market is there's actually no limit on the amount of money that gets created overall, right? So I think these companies are creating trillions of dollars. Now, there is a liquidity question on how much shares are going to get sold and how much money can vacuum it up. I mean, yeah, you probably are going to need, if you look at these things, a very large amount of money. I think Elon and the team at SpaceX have set it up where, as far as I understand, the index and others are going to buy in. So, I think there may be enough money in the world. It turns out there's a lot of money in the world, and these are great companies. So I wouldn't be surprised if they do great.
Well, they sure are. And look, Joe, you've been backing major defense and national security companies like Anduril Industries or Epiras or Saronic Technologies. I want to get your take on what's going on here with regard to AI. And I think that the whole AI movement is moving faster than regulation. Does that concern you?
Well, what I'm concerned by, Maria, is that AI allows us to do so much more for the world and to make things better and cheaper for everyone. But what it's moving faster than is the ability for the government to allow us to do this. And so, the neoprimes in defense with Saronic is doing great. I think we got the regulations are fine there right now. Where regulations are not fine is AI is helping cure all these new diseases, helping push forward bio. But we have an FDA that's not letting us save the kids. It's not letting us save the lives at stake. And it's making us spend insane amounts of money per person we save. And it's not set up for this age. It's set up to let China take over the sector, and it's leading to lots of deaths that don't need to be happening.
Yeah, and you've talked a lot about this. You are very much a major investor in biotech, and you see this change at the FCC as overseeing that in terms of regulation, a new FDA commissioner, as being critical here. Tell us about that. How does that reshape the U.S. biotech sector?
Well, so China has taken away a lot of the sector over the last 7 years. I think last year, Maria, it's been growing, growing, growing. It was the first year there are more big deals buying Chinese drugs. There's more clinical trials going on there. And what happens right now, Maria, is that we actually investigate our own side a lot and make sure everything is perfect and make it take years extra. And then we let things in China not be investigated as much, right? And then we also have rules that we apply to the giant companies, but we try to apply them if you're trying to save a kid with a single unique disease in a hospital that we know how to cure, science knows how to cure it, we make it so it takes tens or hundreds of millions of dollars to save that kid. So you can't do it. You can't save these thousands of kids per year we could be saving. And there's just so many ways in which we're letting China take the economic activity from us. And we're not letting AI and not letting the new technology save these lives. And it's really unfortunate. You need a leader of the FDA that will push back on the bureaucracy, that will say we are going to both be safe and we're going to go faster and save more lives. We're going to not make it take years to get drugs going. We're going to make it just as fast as it is in other parts of the world.
And you think China is actually gaining on the U.S. in that regard?
The data is very clear. They've gone from a couple percent of all new drugs to, I think it's now a third or 40% even in the last 7 years. They've usually gained. And it's both, Maria, is what they're doing. On one hand, there's some very unethical things. On one hand, they're cheating to get around patents. They're changing things on us. They're doing, hurting animals in ways we wouldn't hurt them. They're doing trials that are forced in ways we would never allow. So there's all these bad things they're doing. At the same time, they're also educating more people and pushing their version of the FDA to go faster. So they're gaining on us on all fronts. And the very least we need to do is fix our regulatory apparatus to go as fast as theirs. Give me a fair chance to compete is what I'm asking.
Yeah, I mean, and I think AI is a huge, trigger here because it can save lives, and we know that it's going to be having one of the biggest impacts on healthcare. But AI coding startup Cognition AI raising more than $1 billion in a new funding round. At a $26 billion valuation, the revenue rate increasing to nearly $500 million this year, up from last May's $37 million. The company's hot coding tool, Devin, automates programming processes for engineers while writing and testing production codes. Technology giants Microsoft and Google are targeting these coding models as well. Microsoft expected to announce a new model this week, and Google is unveiling its own as well. Joe, I know 8 VC co-led this financing effort. Tell us about it.
You know, yeah, Cognition is one of my favorite companies, Maria. The CEO actually used to work for us at Adipar a long time ago after winning the global championship in programming. I mean, he brought together a bunch of other gold medalists. What's really fun about this AI wave is the returns have really gone to the most talented, physics Olympiad people, best programmers in the world. And what they're doing with Cognition is they're going into big companies like the big banks here in New York, and they're working with them and saying, this project would have taken you 4 years to redo this and get it right. Let's figure out how you guys are going to use our agents and our tools, and we'll help you, and we'll get it done in 3 or 6 months instead. And you're seeing, I think usage is up 10x so far this year. Cognition's just crushing it. Big companies love it, and they're getting things done.
Wow. And what do you make about this move in Chinese stocks overnight and last night? Tencent shares rallied the highest jump since late 2022. The stock closed up nearly 10.5% after the company said it will unveil a new WeChat AI agent set to launch this month for small group testing before rolling it out entirely. Other Chinese tech stocks also up, reacting to the news, Joe.
Maria, Tencent is a very well-run company. Back before we realized that China was run by crazy communists, we used to work with them a lot. They're a serious competitor, and they're innovating at Tencent as well. So even though China is my competitor, I admire the people at Tencent. I've met them a lot, and they're very good at what they do, and we're going to have to work hard to compete.
Yeah, but I mean, this whole idea of agentic AI and the agents acting unpredictably. I'll be, say it, as easy as possible. Unpredictably is one way to look at it, Joe. Do you worry about this? I mean, Scott Bessent held an emergency meeting with the major banks and the AI companies to talk about whether or not we have the patches in place to beat potential bad actors in jumping the gun and getting information from AI that would be hurtful to the public. Your thoughts?
Scott Bessent, Secretary Bessent, is a friend, and he's very smart. What he was reacting to is the agents are so good now at figuring out cybersecurity. It's so good at being hackers themselves that they actually can break into almost anything right now. They're so powerful. So we are needing to take those agents and very quickly use them to attack ourselves to practice and seal those holes, to how the agents teach us. So it's not even that they're unpredictable in this case, it's that they're so good that we need to make sure we defend against them. And so cyber is a big area. Kevin Mandia, who used to run Mandiant, a lot of guys like him are saying, we're all hands on deck. Let's help us secure against them. So that's a serious issue, and we're working hard on it.
It's a serious issue. You think that we'll be able to get ahead of it? I mean, Joe,
the way you have to get ahead of it, Maria, is you take the best guys in the world, like Kevin Mandia, the other hackers, the G.I. Joes of cyber, and you attack yourself first with the best technology, and you figure out what it figures out, and you use that to then defend yourself. And that's the only way to stay ahead of it. It's called red teaming. We have to do that. It's a crisis because the cutting edge has changed so quickly. So yes, everyone's working on that. And I think the places that are doing it right will stay ahead of it. And I think a lot of others are going to get hacked into next year. So it's a big time to fix it.
Wow, Joe, real quick, do you want to buy stocks in this market now after this huge market melt up? What's your take on this resiliency of the markets and the economy despite the war?
I don't think the war has really hurt the economy that much. Obviously, there's some minor inflation. I think the real question is what's going to happen over the next 5 years. As an investor, I don't know how to trade short term. That's much harder. You can ask Dan Druckenmiller maybe. But for me, for investing, I says, what are things going to be worth over the next 3 years, 5 years, 7 years? And with the productivity coming from AI, there's a lot to love about different things in the market. I'm very bullish on America.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. Joe, great to talk with you as always. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Joe Lonsdale joining us.